how do you pronounce your name? I want to make sure I say it correctly.
Nah, Shaw Calhoune.
Shaw Calhoune.
Shaw Calhoune.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, that's great because
I
that's great
got
for
you.
the listeners to hear. We're rolling.
Yeah.
We're
No,
rolling.
just SHAW, no N.
Yeah,
Okay, perfect. Shaw
Got
Calhoune.
it.
I like
yeah.
that.
Got it.
I'm familiar with
Um,
spelling it because I've been seeing it on Spotify all week, but
There you go.
pronouncing it is a different
Yeah.
thing.
That's
So
that's a good thing. That's a good thing.
yeah, all right.
absolutely.
Well, we have a guest. We have this is our first ever interview with an artist. Shaw Calhoune
Right.
is here.
Going on?
Welcome
A
to the
real
show.
proper guess.
So Shaw,
Yes.
we've been listening to your music all week. Why don't you introduce yourself to our listeners, like to someone who may not know you?
My name is Shaw. Go by the name of Shaw Calhoune. I'm up from Silver Spring, Maryland. You know what I'm saying? Current project out that's out right now is Fly Langston on Bandcamp. Soon to be on streaming platforms, the major ones. You know, Spotify, Tidal, Apple Music, all that good stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
We were lucky enough to listen to it, and it is a hell of a project. I love Fly Langston.
Yeah, man. Thank you, man. Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a really dope run of albums so far. So we've done our research before you came on. We've actually gone through all of your discography, and I will say you're one of a kind. I feel like you have a
yeah,
lot of talent that you bring to a table.
yeah.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Um,
Just like going right off what Purvis said, like it really is like a very refreshing sound that you bring to just hip hop and like music in general. You know, it's very evocative of very familiar sounds, but it's unique in the way it's all put together.
Yeah, appreciate it. I mean, that was like the mission statement since day one. You know what I'm saying? Just to be original. You know what I'm saying? Come up, be in your own lane, your own style, and just perfect it. You know what I'm saying? Just stay within that lane. You know what I'm saying? So that's very gratifying. You know what I'm saying? Y'all gave me those flowers. Appreciate it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
of course, yeah.
Well, happy to
I was
say it.
actually going to say in terms of developing your own style, like you just mentioned. So, like, what's the origin story? What's your background story coming up? How'd you actually come into music?
Really, like music has been always been a part of my life, but just like all through like fan shit. Oh, I can cuss on here. Or, that's
Oh,
cool?
go right
Or-
ahead.
Yeah,
We
that's
swear a lot. Yeah. Honestly,
I just have-
props for asking. Nobody
There's
even
no
asked.
rules.
Yeah, this is wild, wild west. You
There's a reason we're
clearly,
called the unpaid nobodies.
you clearly haven't
Yeah.
listened to the podcast because we say insane things.
We'll try to limit it for your marketing.
Yeah,
Got you. But now, you know, I was always a fan of it, you know what I'm saying, all through the house and whatnot growing up. And pretty much like I started writing raps in like junior high school and just keeping it to myself. And I carried that all through high school, but I just never told nobody. Then like
Mhm.
sports had taken off for me. So, you know, I went to school to play ball.
Okay.
yeah.
And,
Basketball?
and
Where'd
pretty,
you end up going to
nah,
school?
football.
Oh
Played at
shit!
tailback over at Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, Kings College. You know, so over
Okay.
there.
Yeah.
Over there in that region. So pretty much after that, I pretty much got back up with rap and pretty much took it serious ever since then. And like pretty much I started out just doing ciphers. You know what I'm saying? Just you know what I'm saying, just doing ciphers, seeing if I could master that. Then once I mastered that, I was like, okay, now it's time for me to get back in the studio. I'm gonna get in the studio and give it a shot and try to make actually completed songs. And that was around like
Okay.
2018.
That's what's
Wow.
up. How'd you find your way into the studio then? Like, how'd you take those steps going from just like ciphers to fully developed songs? Because you're official. You got everything going with your songs.
Yeah.
I got you. Good question though. But now, how the whole studio thing came about, like my boy and shit, he invited me out to his garage. He has a studio inside the garage. And in that same, you know, in that same studio, we had like a lot of ciphers. Like different producers would come by and play beats. And we all just be pretty much just rapping to it. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty much that's how I came to it. And then they was like, yo, that was the ciphers is at nighttime, but the recorder was in the daytime. So a man
Mhm.
should stop. He started literally telling me like, "Yo, come to this section." You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, during this day, this specific time. At that time, I had no job. I was just chilling. So I had no choice.
I
And
got you.
sometimes I recorded, sometimes I didn't. But like when I didn't, I definitely was in there taking notes. You know what I'm saying? And then during that time, I was like a little roadie. You know what I'm saying? Working my man's merch table, going from going from like places like Baltimore, Philadelphia, a couple places in New York. You know what I'm saying? Definitely was a good experience.
Yeah. Gotta
That's really
be.
dope, though.
Yeah. Well, you really worked your way up all the way from the merch table to the stage. So
Yeah, I mean, the stage was always like that was always the whole plan.
Yeah.
But you know, I wanted to like soak up everything. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
you know, before you get on the field, you're a water boy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
exactly.
No, it's true. You got to work your way up, and you find yourself in that process. I feel like you kind of decide what your style is going to be, and all of that. I guess I should ask then, because at least from my takeaway, I feel like one thing that you mentioned Fly Langston, the new project that is on Bandcamp, is heavily influenced by like the Rattle Renaissance, is heavily influenced by like jazz inspirations, things like that. Was that always your style? And like, what artists did you take that from?
It wasn't like my style specifically because I want to sound like I'm a versatile type of player. You know what I'm saying when it comes to this game. Um, I just say that's one of my colors that comes with the repertoire that I bring to the table. You know what I'm saying? I could hop on one of those jazz joints like you guys like, or I could hop on like a Griselda joint, whichever one. You know what I mean?
It's super funny you say that because like me and
I
Purvis
made that
are
reference.
like
Yeah.
super into Griselda right now, and like as we're going through your catalog, we're just like this dude on a Derringer beat, this dude like we're like you know we
see
can
it.
definitely see it, you know. So like we're
Yeah,
with you,
yeah.
we see the vision for sure.
Yeah. And plus, I also took it as a challenge. You know what I'm saying? I did a lot of research for this project. You know what I'm saying? I like doing research.
If
This particular project and Mariana was like the most ones I did the most research with before I went to go attack it. Because, you know, I wanted to like really, you know, put my all into it. I didn't want to just put in like just a bunch of bars and stuff like that. I got other projects for that. But with this one, I wanted to attack it more from a song point of view, like majority of it. And then
if
also on the creative side, that was my idea to let my guy, Sir Dominic Jr., to come on the jazz session, let him do his thing and rip it out, which he did. You know what I'm saying? So that's all a part of the creativity.
it feels very well, very fully informed. So one of my questions is like, do you how much of the inspiration for this album was taken just from the Harlem Renaissance? Like, just was there like a historical like element to it? Like, could you maybe go into like what the research you did was?
So I just like watching like Langston documentaries. You know what I'm saying? What's it really much research? I mean, well, for the track listing, because if you look on the track listing, it's the making of a zoot suit.
Yeah,
So like scarlet stained leather, that's like the type of shoe. And for real, to get more into deeper things, it was like a riot back in LA during the 20s because the zoot suits was illegal. So it's a big riot. You know, some cats had on pretty much them leather shoes and put blood down on them, of course, because it was a riot. So that's why we
Yeah,
named it Scarlet Stained Leather. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? So
that's pretty
then,
dope. I didn't
yeah,
even know that.
yeah,
yeah. Then the house sparrow, that's like the feather that goes on top of the hat, and pretty
uh,
much like that was like for like the everyday man during that time.
yeah.
So it wasn't. It may look like it's flamboyant, but really that was like for the everyday man, like him just going out of it. Man. So
Yeah,
That's
you
super
know,
cool.
you got button up, of course, that's the shirt. Then you got full hunter, that's the watch. Pretty much, you know, like the watch that's like almost like a keychain. Almost you open it up this way. So
yeah,
yeah, each track was making up a zoot suit.
That's so cool because like I saw
that's
that.
pretty dope. I'm not
Yeah,
even gonna lie.
because like I saw it on Goat Cheese, like your one project. Like that also has like a similar, like all the names, like they're
Yeah.
fine.
For goat cheese, it was wine purposes.
Yeah, wine. Yeah, and I put it
Yeah.
together then, but like wow, I can't believe I
Even from
didn't.
my regards, like all the tracks was named after a flower in my regards. You know what I'm saying? So like the whole
Yeah,
point of that was, you know, like as an artist, I feel like I'm a brutally honest type of artist.
Yeah,
And you know, some people may get offended. So like if you get offended off of what I'm saying, he goes to these flowers basically. So we
yeah.
just did it with all flowers, named it after every flower. Basically, we always, you know, so over at Big Other, we always like take our time to like putting stuff together and making it all make sense all into one.
They feel very like holistic, the projects
Hmm.
as a whole, you know? And I think that's why they have so much meaning despite being so short, which to me is refreshing. Like we constantly talk about like how albums are bloated nowadays, and like, and if you could do something cool with that, cool. But like most people don't. Like, so getting something just so dense and like easy to listen to all at once, it's a breath of fresh air. It really is.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
fully agree. I love how it's uniform that way. Just like the way you broke down each album, how there's like different categories within that subject. That's little details that like people don't really appreciate, unless you're really in the game and you really pay attention. Like that's stuff you really, really enjoy.
yeah. One thing that we
Um,
we kind of discuss on here pretty regularly is the appeal or value of an album versus the appeal of the single or the hit song that can be playlisted and listened to over and over and over again. And I'm curious, with the way that all of these tracks kind of fit into that theme, would you say that you ever focus on trying to make something that is playlistable, or are you just always looking at that full experience?
I always think of the full experience. I don't get in the studio to chase singles, man. I mean, singles come to me different. You know what I'm saying? Like
Hmm.
I don't go in the studio with anticipation. Say, oh, this one is going to be it. This is going to take us where we need now. I'm more focused on the body of work, even though I do drop singles.
Hmm.
But it's just how I'm feeling at the time. But it's never like with the anticipation of like this is going to be it. You know what I mean? When
Yeah.
they,
Yeah.
when I check my project, it's the entire body of the work because I was a fan of them. You know what I mean? It wasn't just the single for me. I mean, the single was cool, but I want to go out and buy the album and listen to the album and whatnot. So I definitely was like when I become an artist, I definitely want to come from that perspective.
100%. I
And I
respect
think it's
that.
better that way. Yeah, I think it's better that way. I think it has like longevity because when it first came out, everybody has their first favorite few songs, but then 10 years from now, everybody will switch up and like, nah, actually, I like that song. You know, yeah, it's still a classic, but I was bumping that song when it came out. But now I'm listening to it, I kind of like that song. You know what I'm saying? So then it would just go on, go on, go on.
Yeah, like how
mhm.
something ages. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, right, right,
Yeah.
right.
The context changes, but when you play the album in its entirety, when you control that entire experience,
Mhm.
it's almost like a time capsule. Like you kind of like no matter where you are, you're kind of put right into that moment. You're kind of put right into the Harlem Renaissance when you hit play on Fly Langston. And that
Mhm.
kind of always will.
Yeah, also what helped it usher it in, what you're talking about is my guy for lives, you know what I'm saying, overseas, because he did the production entirely on Fly Langston from top to bottom, and he just like pretty
It
much
was
run it home.
something else. It's really,
Yeah.
really cool, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I actually have a production question that I kind of want to ask you because it's something I see across all of your albums. What was the motivation behind going drumless? Because like
um,
dude, it's cool and I love it, but I gotta ask, like,
it's kind of funny because it's like it grew on me. Like it always comes as a fan. You know what I'm saying? Hearing other artists doing it, and then like it came so quick. Like I remember Pusha T did this one song with How to Prince, and like Pusha T came on the part when his drum missing at the end. He was like, "Yeah, I like when you bring me in with like no drums." I was like, "Oh shit!" And then of course Rock Marcy, he just pretty much just that's his right there. Him and Bronzo Kai, that's their thing. So pretty much, and I'm a fan of them both. So it was like, shit, why not?
rock is great.
And yeah, yeah, yeah. I was like, why
Yeah.
not? And the shit just sounded good. And I pretty much more gravitated towards like drumless because, like I said in the other interview a while back, like I always look at drumless as like you pretty much can like with drums, you got to be like in the pocket. You know what I mean? You have to match the rhythm and whatnot. But with drums, you could pretty much be over here, far left, far right, but still be in the pocket and still be on rhythm, and still the punchlines will still drop. You know what I mean? Still punch.
Yeah. It feels like it gives you a lot more emphasis when you don't
Hmm.
have that low
Yeah,
end because your voice kind of takes on that low end role.
Right, 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 right.
yeah, and it leads to just like a super clean mix.
So I guess I should ask you because it's a lot of moving pieces, like to create music. So what's the process in terms of you finding features, selecting it, or like finding a sample and selecting it? Because it's so much more than just in hip hop. I feel like it's so much more than just a verse. It's everything you bring together, and you've done an excellent job in each album to make a solidified project. So walk me through your steps of like how do you add the extra stuff on, whether it be features or samples or whatever.
I'm never big on features, even though I'm open to them now. I'm starting to open it on fly. Shout out to my guy Mars. But in terms of like beats and whatnot, like I'm usually good with finding samples. And I don't make beats. I don't claim myself as a producer, but I do have an ear for samples. And a lot of my earlier projects was just me hearing a sample because I used to do Uber back in the day, and me just driving playing different music because I'm a fan of like old '70s music and '80s too. And I hear a nice sample that nobody hasn't used. I pretty much take it to my guys and tell them to put drums on it, and then I put bars to it, and bam, it was just like that. But in terms of features, like I listen to the beat and I'm like, yeah, this definitely sounds like somebody I can like, you know what I mean? I can do it. And, I can do it myself, but I'm gonna be generous, you know what I'm saying? Let somebody else eat in my joint.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that.
I mean,
Are
this.
there other people? Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say the samples just feel so effortless. Like
Huh?
specifically on My Regards. I think like the samples on that one to me they just hit like right into like the pocket of stuff I want to listen to.
Yeah, I got a couple drinks in there as well. And my God, 15 grams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I was actually going to ask because, like, I know you have an inner circle, and what we initially were introduced to finding you was through Big Illinois Records.
Yeah.
Are there other people within that label that you work with, and how does all that work? What's it like being signed to the label?
So I'm the first artist, pretty much. So we starting from the ground up, you know what I'm saying? But we still making strides. And the two guys that we work with is the guys who runs the Kaleidoscope recording studios in Lancaster, PA. That's Ben Roth and John Smith. And it just pretty much them two, me, Danny Nono, which is the CEO. We pretty much just smashed from there. Cause I recorded Goat Cheese, My Regards, and Fly everything.
Oh really?
Mhm.
That's interesting. All right. So like, what do you think you want to go next creatively then? Like, is there some other thing that you're trying to pursue? Like, do you plot out projects ahead of time? Like, oh, like
Yeah. We plot out. I mean, we can't help ourselves because, like, ideas just hit you right in the head.
I
So yeah,
feel
we
that.
gotta.
Yeah, I feel that 100%. Like, you just gotta like hit it while it's hot and while it works for
Right,
you.
right,
Yeah.
right. I mean, nothing like concrete recorded, but definitely like names and titles is definitely writing down, jotting down. So we keying in on those in the future.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll give you a few: Vanilla Bean, Carry Out on Shaw, Four Piece,
Four piece.
uh, Shaw Bunyan. We playing with that a little bit, and Bamboo.
I
You know what
love
I'm
that.
saying? One of the two. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So like with this one you did the video button up. Do you
Yes, yeah.
see yourself like more and more like wanting to incorporate a visual element?
I mean, yeah, I usually have the vision going into it, you know what I'm saying? And I get influence from watching other videos, like the button up video that's influenced by the Black Star video, History.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty dope. Because actually, I watched the music video, and I like the concept of it, but it's pretty straightforward. You walk around. It does have some visual aspects of you kind of in front of the camera, rapping in front of the camera, but a lot of it is more abstract. Do you like more videos that are more kind of far away from the actual individual, where it might create a actual visual for a person, like an image, or you more focused on like just you? What do you like
Uh,
more in the music video?
excuse me, my bad.
Okay.
Now, I kind of a combination of both. You know what I mean? I do like, some of the camera views focus on me rapping and whatnot, but also I definitely want to get like shots of the environment as well. You know what I mean? I always like try to like take pieces of like videos that I grew up watching or that I
Hmm.
take a liking to, and then like those consist of a combination of both.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
mean, but also too, depending on the song. You know what I mean? So if some songs reserve like just straight focus on you, some is like some of you in the mercy of the scenery or wherever you at in the environment or whatnot. I mean, it just depends on the song.
That's so true. And like
Mhm.
Yep.
it all depends like cuz that's ultimately what the visuals are serving. You want to make sure everything's downriver of the song.
I should ask then, in terms of adding that visual aspect, because obviously you've already dived into music videos. Going forward in your career, are you planning on doing more live events? And have you
Yeah.
like kind of planned that out? And if you have done some already, like what's your favorite venue?
No, I don't have a favorite venue yet. I mean, I only can say the one that I only performed at so far. That's at the Skate Wagon. Shout outs to them. But definitely shows is in the work, and definitely plan on doing more shows and
Yeah.
doing more like going on tours, like short tours, like the weekend type of tour. You know what I mean? Those are definitely soon down the pipeline.
Yeah.
Hmm.
You'll have to let us know if you come to Chicago because I know I'll be there.
We'll be there. We'll
Downtown,
bring people with us.
definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
And
I'll go ahead, Purvis.
no, I was going to say because just growing off of that, like a lot of growth that you get as an artist is through word of mouth. So, what is your business goal just for growth going forward? How do you plan on getting your name out there?
Just
Is there a
pretty.
certain, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, my bad to cut you off, but no, the plan
No,
is
you're
to just,
good.
yeah, my plan is just to get better within the, what I'm saying, within the business and whatnot, and that's consists of promotion, getting better on the promotion side, continue to push my name, push the brand, say come across marketing schemes. We doing heavily research on that every day to see how we get better every day as a whole unit. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
Yeah.
pretty much just like
Have you
that. You know,
found? I was going to
because
say,
I
have
mean,
you found a successful avenue?
yeah, through social media. Social media is picking up slowly but surely. Every time I release something, pretty much like, so my following has definitely picked up a lot. You know what I mean? And also like every performance has definitely helped out as well. Like a live performance, the ones that I did do pretty much definitely increased in the fan base. So I
Yeah.
feel it's like more I do shows and the more I keep doing research and when I get better with the research and promotion, I think I'll be fine.
It's all about getting the reps in, right?
Yeah, of course.
Because like you clearly have the skills. Like I
Yeah,
don't mean to
yeah.
be pedantic, but like I heard the albums. Like uh like uh and do you think that kind of motivates like your kind of like your release schedule? Because it seems like you put out multiple projects in a year, but with the
Very
exception,
consistent.
yeah, but with the exception of the Rudy tape, which was my favorite of the bunch, uh, was they were all like relatively short. And do you think like that's part of it? Is just like wanting to get like those reps in, like because you say you're very conceptual the way you approach it as an artist, and it shows. So you think
Yeah.
like just getting out those complete projects like quicker and quicker, not quicker and quicker, but like quickly is
It's
More
not. It's
regularly.
not. Yeah, I mean, yeah, regularly. It's more like regular because it's not necessarily quick. Because I definitely feel like I took my time in between each project. Well, for one, it's funny you mentioned that because like that was the idea was to do it quickly at first
yeah,
until one of the producers off of my regards, he heard it. My guy Crypto. He did Mariellis and Gladiator Sage on My Regards. He pretty much heard the entire project early, of course, and he was like, "Nah, man, this is it. Like, you need to be physicals." He pretty much got me hit to the CDs. He pretty much like, this is definitely like you needed to take your time with this because really the original idea was pretty much just drop it, move on to the next, drop it, move on to the next, drop it, move on to the next. But once he
Yeah.
said that, we pretty much took our time and did a little more research.
yeah,
And then eventually we dropped my regards and we did a bit more research for Flying Langston. Because like I recorded my regards at Goat Cheese the same weekend. I recorded Goat Cheese that Saturday and then I recorded my regards that Sunday, like in one day and just banged it out. So
that's wild.
that, that was the
Okay.
idea. Yeah, that
Yeah,
was yeah, that was the idea to drop it quickly. You know what I'm saying? Because I went up there, like up there in Lancaster what I'm getting recorded about like 30 joints, I'll say. And we pretty much just like, yeah, we're gonna use this, we're gonna use that, we're gonna use this, and then we just gonna drop it and just move on. But once they heard, I mean, they fuck with Goat, you know what I'm saying? Go did his thing too. But when Model Gods came out, they was like, nah, you need to take your time on this. Get as much money as you can, in terms of merch, the streams, the Bandcamp, like all that shit. Like this joint is like definitely the one. So I was like, wow.
That's wise. No, honestly, that's a good idea to take your time and like really sit with a project because you can get
Right,
all kinds of different insights and just improve it to make it even more
right.
perfect.
And then also like recording it quick is one thing, but you gotta like really, you know what I'm saying, really do your research because you don't want to put out a good project, but you don't know what the fuck to do with it. You know what I'm saying? That's a dud at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? It could be good, it could be damn near classic for real, but if you ain't get, you know what I'm saying, got no plan behind it, no strategy, it ain't gonna be shit.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I feel like
You
there's
are
a sweet spot that artists have where there are artists who will rush and record something real quick and just kind of master it quick and throw it out there, and it may do well, it may not, and then there are other artists who sit on something for almost too long, and I feel like you're kind of in that sweet spot where you're able to produce content, music, art quickly, but then also are able to master it in a way that's more thoughtful without getting too in your head about what needs to happen next. Like looking at when your releases have happened, it feels like there's a regularity there. Like you found kind of a rhythm for it.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, I'm saying that to my team, you know what I'm saying? Because I mean, like me, of course, I come with the lyrics, but like the guys with the collage stuff, they're really great with like making the sound clear.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Definitely like engineering my voice. Like kudos to those guys, like really.
It's a team effort. Like literally
100%.
Yeah.
everything
It really
is.
is.
Like it's impossible to like be creative and not have to work with other people. It's just kind of an inherent vice of it.
Mhm.
Who makes the cover art for your stuff? Because it seems like every single one, like it kind of captures it, like in a single frame.
Right. And pretty much it's not just one person who does all the cover art. It's like pretty much who we build a rapport with through Instagram.
Okay.
Like for Mama Guards, it was a female from overseas, Stu Tinder. Like she did the original cover, and then the alternate cover with the CDs was this guy that Bruce Banter. That's Daddy Nono's guy. So
Hmm.
he pretty much put it on with
Okay.
him. He wanted to do it just for the love of it, and he did it. And he was like, "Shit, might as well use this for the alternate cover for the CD." So pretty much, yeah. Shout out to him. So and then Goat Cheese. That was a photo shoot that I did for for one of my videos from off the Rudy tape.
Yeah.
And it was like so tight, so I was like, "Fuck it, let me just use this." Like,
Yeah.
No,
yeah,
that
and
And
was
honestly,
yeah,
it worked.
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah. Go ahead. What you about to say?
I was actually I was actually about to ask them because, well, with all these moving pieces and it comes together to a project, we talked about having a regular schedule. What's the distribution like? Because I feel like you stand out a little bit more. A lot of people don't really sell digital, or at least have success selling digital, I should say. But you have a consistent presence on Bandcamp where you sell your digital music. You are on Spotify as well. What's the process as things are moving towards streaming? Like, how do you feel about it personally, and how do you like what success have you found?
Uh, the, the success I found is basically shifting the Bandcamp. I mean, the strings is all right, but the Bandcamp is really, you know what I'm saying, bringing the bacon home. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I
Okay.
guess the more I establish my name, I guess the streams will pick up. And for the main part, you know what I'm saying, just like the fans who just like really fucking, you know what I'm saying, don't really care about all this other stuff. They just fuck with the music and they just want to like support. So like the Bandcamp is pretty much they're looking out.
hmm
yeah.
So you would prefer Bandcamp in comparison to just streaming or like Spotify or something like that?
Yeah, so right now, I prefer Bandcamp pretty much, but I gotta eventually I gotta do the streaming and whatnot, to get more of the write ups and whatnot. Because some write ups just wanted to fuck with you just because you strictly a Bandcamp. They be like, we're just Spotify, we're just Apple and whatnot. We don't really, you know what I'm saying? We hear you that you on Bandcamp, but like, you gotta come over here to the streams and whatnot. So, we gotta play that game too, of course. But if it was up to us, we would just strictly do Bandcamp pretty much.
It's a very respectable position because,
Right.
streaming is not great for artists, and like Bandcamp is
They
like,
do not pay.
yeah, Bandcamp is just like a safe haven that you
The
can
least
pay.
predatory.
Yeah,
Because like Bandcamp, man, if you look at it, Bandcamp is like a virtue out the trunk of your car. You just playing it, and somebody walk by, listen to it, and just pay for it and go about their business.
hmm
It's true.
I love buying projects off the street. It's just
Yeah,
like,
this man
Right.
texted us the other day and he goes, was walking down the street and bought a mixtape for $3. I love this city.
yeah,
I mean, I
Okay.
feel that.
yeah.
I'm taking a look into it right now. If I'm being honest, I didn't even really know of Bandcamp. But I see there's an app on Apple at least, so I'm about to dive into this and
Yeah,
see what else I can find.
there's
Yeah.
some good stuff out there. Yeah.
Yeah, man, you know what I'm saying? Go ahead and get that Bandcamp.
Yeah.
Just download from Langston if you like.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not gonna lie, I listened to the file Danny sent us for Flight Langston, but I have Bandcamp on my phone, and like, yeah, it's so cool to see someone stake out on it because it seems like in the last 20 years, like we've just lost like this working class musicians, right? Like now it's like you either have a day job or you're Drake, like. And there's no
Right.
there's like no in between, like and I got me and Purvis and Jasper, like we probably don't know a different world, but like back in the day, like there were plenty of guys who could just make a living selling music out the trunk of their car, or like playing in bars, or like playing in local shows, and like I see Bandcamp very much as like a way to like fill that space online, and yeah, and it's cool to see someone with such a sound, like take it on.
It's at the point where it's at that time where like you can do Bandcamp or you can do your own show like in your backyard if you want. And like you can basically create a flyer and all that, charge them $10 to get in and out. You make money just like that way. I've seen it done before.
Yeah,
I think that's
It's
like
true.
it's a cool time where you can like be your own boss. You ain't gotta pretty much like knock on the doors and ask for a record label and no shit like that. You just give
yeah,
it some people who's pretty much invested and just come up with a plan, and you already got your own entity pretty much. So you don't really need anybody. So you got somebody to look out for shows. You got somebody who do the interviews. You got somebody who
Hmm.
loves the social media. You get all of that. You can't go wrong.
sounds like
That's
it.
actually that was going to be my next question because I feel like the most difficult thing about not even just artists, but just media in general, any form of media is gaining exposure and getting your music out there. How do you feel about the advancement of technology and like keeping up with that? Because like now everybody got TikTok. You see a 30-second video on TikTok, you find an artist. I found at least 20, I'm not gonna lie, from TikTok and just hearing the video like, okay, I gotta do this now. I gotta find out. So how do you personally feel? Because like a lot of people don't really like technology like that, especially if they're in the older generation.
Yeah, trust me. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah, we can hear
Yeah.
you.
Okay, just making sure. But now, trust, I'm not a grumpy young man. Like, I don't have TikTok personally, but I don't hate on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's them. You know
yeah.
what I mean? That's
It's just lame.
even though,
Hating's lame.
yeah,
Yeah, like
No, that's true.
I don't, you know what I'm saying? I kind of wish that they would do something better else with their time, but I just keep that to myself because I'm not doing no damn challenges, so I don't have no TikTok.
So
But I do,
you prefer kind of word of mouth.
yeah, I prefer word of mouth or just do social media. You know what I mean? Because like
Hmm.
if you besides TikTok, like if you like on Instagram, somebody can take one of your songs and pretty much take that as like a little road trip vlog or whatnot. That could be helpful as well. Or like one of your songs, like the instrumental part, that could be like the beginning of a show. So
yeah.
Hmm.
I look at it more
Have you
from that
ever?
way.
I'm sorry, I
I
didn't
mean,
mean to cut you off. You can keep going.
no, you good. I mean, I look at it that way more so like actual word of mouth. Because back in the day, word of mouth was just like somebody catching you at a show or hearing you somewhere like on a song or whatnot. But say now it's a little bit more hands on. It can be quicker.
Have you ever had that like feeling where it just like it kind of like clicks? You walking down the street and somebody plays your music, or like you swipe on a page and someone has your music. Have you ever had that moment of just like, oh, my name's getting out there? You kind of see maybe other people mention your name. Like, how do you feel in the moment? How did you react to it?
No, I definitely was like in an instance, I'll be elated. So definitely be hyped. Definitely be hyped. But always keep in mind, so you got to keep going. You can't be complacent with it. You know what I'm saying? So you got to pretty much like show the reason why that your name is mentioned on the other person's Instagram or why they're playing their music. So you always got to like stay focused on that.
Yeah. No, that's definitely true.
That's
And
true.
like so much of it just comes down to the craft of it, right? Cuz like your job is just like to make the music, like to like provide that. You know, everything else can be everything else. You know.
Like to piggyback onto what you're saying, that comes with repetition. You know what I'm saying? Always,
Yeah.
always, you know what I'm saying? Like always record, always record. Even if you don't put it out, record, or write raps. Like me, I try to write every day. 16 every day. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? 16 or 32 every day.
So like is that like the staple of your process? Like you have like a daily writing process? Because I'm a writer too, not a rapper, not cool enough. But like, you know, like I gotta do the daily writing habit, or it goes weeks before I sit down and I write more. Is that something you share?
yeah, no, I definitely write every day. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like pretty much like try to write in the morning and I try to write at nighttime.
Yeah, that's
Pretty
when you're
much
most
twice a
creative.
day. Yeah.
Yeah. Is what else do you what do you look for inspiration that's like outside the realm of music? Because we're gonna have a whole bunch of like music nerd questions coming up, but like before we get there, like where else do you find your inspiration? Because I always find that to be the most interesting. You know,
I mean, it should be obviously my projects, you know what I'm saying, movies or television shows, of course.
everyone
You know
loves
what I'm
movies.
saying?
Yeah, movies are the best. Yeah,
Yeah, mainly movies, or I could just be like, it could just, inspiration could just hit me. You know what I mean? Like, usually a lot of it comes, like, just like what I said right in the morning, a lot of my stuff comes, like, in the morning. Like, it's just a thought, and, like, oh, let me get this down on paper. That pretty much starts turning into rhymes and whatnot, so.
yeah,
That's healthy.
that's very
That's
healthy.
very healthy. Wake up productive. That's healthy.
Yeah,
I mean, don't get
Like
me wrong,
actually though.
I don't wake up and start dumping, you know what I'm saying, pretty much, but now it's like, pretty much, it's like, you know, like an idea will come in, okay, all right.
yeah,
Or at least a line, more so like a
Mm.
line will kind of come at me, you know, in the morning. You know what I'm saying? But I was like, as soon as I wake up, I say, all right, what's up with the writing? What's up? And then usually the line will come, and then pretty much I'll try to finish it throughout the day. Then I take a break, of course, and then I pick back up on it at nighttime.
yeah,
Okay. With all these kind of different pieces of your music coming in and inspiring you from different avenues, whether it be music or like other music, movies, TV shows, like you said. What are some topics that you feel hit you the most that you really care about? Is it family? Is it money? Is it fame? What's kind of the main thing that really sticks with you that you find important?
More so family. You know what I'm saying? Like blood or unblood. You know what I'm saying? Like, and staying cohesive, pretty much. You know what I'm saying? Just carrying that cohesion.
yeah. That's real smart.
I got you.
Yeah. So, like, let me just ask you, man, what are some like artists that are out today that excite you? Because you talk about how you're a big hip hop fan, and like that's what we are, right? So, like, as a fan, like, what are some of the things that are exciting you right now? Stuff that you're happy to be contemporary with.
You said that's not right now, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Current, okay.
You know,
Uh,
like current-ish. I'm not gonna take out a calendar.
I'm not sure if you guys are hip on him, but it's a guy named Theravada. I'm a big fan of him. Like he's another underground rapper from I believe Long Island, I believe. But he's like
Nirvana.
yeah, Theravada.
We'll have to look
He's
into
pretty
them.
yeah, he's
I'm
pretty
pulling them
tough.
up right
Pretty
now.
tough. He's a rapper and he produces his own beats. You know what I'm saying? Definitely tough. Another guy, Brain Orchestra from New Jersey. He's pretty tough. And then I listened to it. I just got hit to another guy today. I believe his name is John King Divine. I believe that's his name. He's a pretty dope dude. I'm not sure where he's from, but I just heard his music today. He was pretty dope. He's pretty, you know what I'm saying, another underground rapper.
Mhm.
And they got, I'm from Soulsburg, Maryland, the DMV area. So he's like a couple artists that's dope from the area. They're nice as well. Uncle John, Ryan Supreme, a couple guys from Richmond, Virginia, they call themselves the Mutant Academy. Fly Anakin. They're pretty tough.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm pretty
Okay.
much a fan.
Okay.
I'm pretty much a fan of the current underground rap. You know what I'm saying?
That's good. Like,
I was
That,
about to say you just put us on like 5 different names that I
yeah,
had
you got
heard
this
of.
on to a whole bunch of people because like
I
that's
was trying to save all of them.
yeah, we're right.
that.
But that's
So
like where it's
you're more
real.
in tune with underground then. Do you
So
listen
what?
to you're more in tune with what's underground. Then you don't really listen to what's trending there. I should say.
Hey, Kendrick and Cole, I mean, that's about it. I mean, I listen to Future, but that's more like, oh, somebody else got to
They're the
play this
best
one.
ones.
I mean,
Like,
I'm not checking for it. You know what I'm saying? Like
No, I
versus
got you.
me checking for like a Rock Marcy album entirely produced by Alchemist. Like I'm checking for that. Like at midnight.
Respect.
yeah, respect.
Respectfully.
Anything
Yeah.
produced by The Alchemist, I'm listening to almost
Right, right.
immediately. Like,
Yeah, that's
No, I
Arm&
got you.
Hammer, Earl Sweatshirt, Boldy
Facts.
James,
yeah,
Yeah.
the whole gang, the whole squad. It was a Yacht Rock. And definitely like that's one of my favorite joints.
Okay.
Yacht Rock too. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
That's what's up
That's
there.
cool as hell. Purvis this week was like, "Yo, did you listen to the new Boldy James album?" And I'm like,
It's good.
"I want to, but I was listening to Shaw's, and it was like, well, I was."
Pick your battles.
What's crazy is like, you know, it's just like they're like, you know, like you always go back and listen to shit. So I went back and listened to 2010 shit, like the whole Smokers Club, Currency, Smoke Dizzle,
Oh
Wiz
yeah,
Mhm.
Khalifa, and all. Oh, damn, like that was like a motherfucker
I
early.
I
Like,
went back to
but
that. Yeah, the blog era, the
yeah, yeah,
Cushion OJ,
oh
the
man, convert coupe, college service, like
oh my god, dude, I was like freshly out of high school during that era.
man,
I legitimately I've been seeing some think pieces about it saying like, oh, it's the other golden age of hip hop. I think they're
yeah,
right. Because
yeah.
like think about you said it yourself, Kendrick
Yes.
Cole, the best ones, that's where they started. You
On
know,
Mount
I
Rushmore
remember
right now.
Yeah, yeah, they were all like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, if you throw in, I mean, I wasn't really a fan of whatnot, but you know, French Montana was down at that period too. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, we're not really big fans of French Montana either.
yeah, Nipsey,
We'll listen to him.
Nipsey Hussle,
Nipsey
like
Hussle
that,
was
the
another
whole
one.
squad. Yeah, yeah, the
Yeah.
whole squad.
Mhm.
Oh my
And
god.
then,
What's
believe it or not, like, oh, my bad, believe it or not, Omar R. He was, I believe, he's from somewhere in California.
Yeah.
But he was doing joints back then with Planet Asia. That's how I got hit to Planet Asia.
Oh my god. Man, I miss Stat Piff so much.
It's a whole different
It's still around. It didn't
different
go
time.
anywhere.
I know it didn't go anywhere, but
Oh,
like
no,
I'm
But it doesn't
30
have the
now.
same impact.
Lil Wayne is still
It's not
putting
the same.
things out.
God, I would kill for some.
It's just not the same.
I miss
Yeah,
old Little
yeah.
Wayne so much. Like,
You know what I mean? There were times when I fucked up behind that kid, and I was so in defense, like, nah, it can't be. I'm not fucking up the computer because of that, but I just gotta do it on any new computer I can get my hands on. I
yeah,
gotta download every mixtape. Whole time, that was the shit that fucked it up.
yeah.
And I was like, oh shit.
Yep.
Iconic.
The whole
I ran
time.
through like eight laptops. Like,
Because you need to get it.
I mean, I get it. I really do.
I think that's everyone our age can like identify with like ruining the family computer.
Ruining the
or-
family's
wow.
computer.
wow, yeah, fucked it all up. Right?
Yeah.
Yep.
For
like, all right,
misspelled
Get me
track
for all
listings.
that.
This one song will only take another 3 minutes to download, and
Right.
after that,
Yeah, dude, everything took
I'll be
so
good.
long to download.
don't send an email because otherwise it's gonna send to everybody you know.
I was in so defense. I was like, nah, I couldn't. Me downloading music, I can't. It can't be me. It was me the entire time. I did not know, man.
The
Somebody
Yeah.
whole
told me, he was like, yeah,
time.
bro.
Music?
He's
I've
like,
never
yeah.
even heard music.
Right.
It's like me, I listen exclusively to the sound of animals. Like,
Right.
Bird calls.
It's just like that's about it. I guess because I haven't even really dived into this. So you personally is just like, what's your family like? What's your upgrowing like? Like, what's it like in your background?
yeah.
Because I know you say like, oh, like your family computer. Like, you got siblings? What's going on?
In terms of like upbringing, it was like I was raised like in a sports house, sports driven. You know what I mean? Like my father, he played ball as well. My grandfather did. You know what I mean? My mother
Mhm.
did a little something. She was a swimmer and she was a cheerleader, so it's pretty much like an athletic house.
Oh, that's
What's
interesting.
your
Okay.
favorite teams? I gotta ask. What's your teams? Whatever
Okay.
sports.
Football, Dallas Cowboys.
Hell yeah.
Basketball,
Okay.
basketball is Portland Trailblazers.
Portland.
Yeah, for right now. Like I
Okay.
consider I
That's
consider
different.
myself I consider myself a free agent fan. A
That's
free agent fan, you know,
hilarious. I
I
love
bounce
that.
around from team to team. You know what I'm saying? But right
You
now
get
I'm on
moved
Portland.
around.
Right.
Okay.
you know what I'm saying? It's boring like rooting for a team who don't make it to the playoffs. Like, come on, you gotta have something.
I'm a Bears
It's true.
fan.
It's
I
true.
know that. Like,
Damian needs to get some help.
Man,
About
dang
to say,
you.
right now, out of Chicago, everyone's suffering. All of our sports.
Y'all need
We need
Lonzo
some
back,
help
man.
badly.
Y'all
yeah,
need
we need
Lonzo
Lonzo
man.
back, and a miracle.
Bro, they literally just said, like, they don't know. They legitimately don't know what's wrong with his knee. They don't know what's causing the pain. They asked like 12 different doctors and they all said something different. So
My
at
man
this
getting
point, I
paid
don't
eating
know what to do.
nachos. My man getting paid eating
Basically,
nachos, chilling, icing that knee.
the life. I'm trying to have that job. Either that or be a rapper. What they say, rapper goes to the league.
There you go.
All right, well, what we want to do, because we kind of already touched on the top 5 artists what you listen to lately. Some other nerding out music things. What's a dream collab that you want in the future?
Yeah,
Definitely want to do a whole project with Alchemist. That's like the number one joint. You know what I'm saying? Definitely want to, yeah, dude.
day
I
one.
can see myself doing that. You know what I'm saying? For sure. And knocking out the park.
I would.
Definitely do one.
Okay.
Well, we'll be here and listen to it when it drops.
I say secondly,
For
I probably
sure.
would, you know what I'm saying? Secondly, I probably said Dream Collabs. Okay. That's like it could be a song too, right? I mean, I'll hop on a Nas
Yeah.
joint. That's my favorite rapper of all time. So
Nas,
Oh,
definitely,
yeah?
if he calls, so definitely like, yeah,
that. Wow.
highly motivated for
That's a
that
You
one.
Made It song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it will be if it's executed, but definitely going in, I'm super focused. Like
Yeah.
I'm coming
Mhm.
in with at least like 3 or 4 verses, seeing which one that fits. Like
Yeah. Dude,
offhand.
Nas is a legend. He has a
I'm about to
Right.
say,
he just hit another third win in his career right now with the King Disease albums.
The
mm,
joints is tough.
Crazy.
I didn't think they could do it, but they did it, boy. That third one was tough. Like,
Yeah.
nah, he don't miss.
Yeah.
He got a wonderful discography.
hmm
Yeah.
Okay. Another thing that I wanted to go over. If everything goes exactly how you want it to, okay? Just like in this hypothetical, what do you see at the end of the road? When you're finished with music, do you even want to be as big as Drake?
No, I ain't chasing fame. I
Smart
ain't chasing
answer.
No.
fame.
Smart
I'm
answer.
more chasing with consistency. You know what I'm saying? And dedicating to the fans who really fuck with my sound and me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So definitely see myself evolving and growing. That doesn't mean like me completely changing my sound, but like the music will get better. I feel as though as the
Mhm.
more older and more wise as I get.
Yeah. No, change is good. You know,
I
like
mean, not change. I wouldn't say change or whatnot, but it's like
growth.
it'll be different. I'll say, yeah, growth, yeah,
Yeah.
growth.
Yeah, no. I totally think it's awesome when artists in general just like give themselves permission to like grow in unexpected ways. Right? Because like what's the worst that can happen, right? Like it just that one doesn't hit, you just do another one. Like you know?
You don't like it? You don't like it? That's cool. People come to me and tell me, I like this one. I like this one. I kind of don't like that one. I have not been out of shape, man.
No
Like,
one,
but
no,
I'm
yeah,
sad.
exactly.
But by all means, I'm highly satisfied with all my releases. You know what I'm saying? That's why I released them. So,
As you should be. So yeah, it's just so nice to hear artists talk about how they're focused on the body of work. You know?
yeah, of course. Like, I'm gonna chase it with consistency. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
having like
Like,
a nice library.
yeah, of course,
Yeah.
and letting the chips fall where they may be. You know what I'm saying? I know I've impacted somebody that's out there. So I'm more about
Mhm.
that. You can do that without even being on television. So
Most
Facts.
people who do aren't on television.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
it's like
Absolutely.
especially out here. You know what I'm saying? Like, how can you even bash me for not going for the famous approach? But y'all love the hell out of Devin the Dude. I only seen one video from him. Like, your man's been underground his entire career. So it's like y'all love him. So
Hmm.
why throw hate
Yeah,
towards me? You know what I mean?
very
Like,
true. Yeah.
I pretty much like my agenda just pretty much just get rap. I mean, just rap and get paid for it. You know what I'm saying? To keep the lights on. That's all, man. Like,
Hmm.
Super respectable,
I
dude.
just just stay out the way.
Dude, That's the way it happens. Like that's the I'm of the opinion that that's how just like greatness is made. Just like this drive to just get it done. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, even with that being said, because like being an artist is just difficult, whatever position you take. Um, what is your favorite thing about being an artist, and what do you dislike the most? Like actually though.
The favorite thing I like is pretty much the day of the release.
Yeah,
That's
feel that.
that's
Okay.
that's pretty much yeah. Definitely turn it into like a favorite thing. Also going to record. You know, so like the day of, like yeah, you're going up here to bang out. Let's
Yeah,
It's
go.
almost like
You know,
therapeutic. Yeah.
yeah, for
yeah.
sure, for sure.
We definitely relate to that because like we talk all the time about how just like
This
being
podcast
this
is
podcast
cheaper
for
than
us,
therapy.
it's just like it's cheaper to do the therapy because it's free. Uh,
Yeah.
and it's like just like that feeling of creation is just so satisfying.
Did you ask me the thing that I hate as well, or
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay, yeah,
Like
the thing that
honestly though, because it's not all perfect.
still a job.
nah, it's a job, of course, but now the thing that I hate is the dick riding,
Oh yeah.
Okay.
supreme, supreme dick riding, and it's like I'm still a professional at the end of the day, but it's like, it's dick riding blatantly right in front of your face. So I mean, like
Yeah.
mainly, like like of course, there's a major sound within underground. There's a major, there's like a popular sound or whatnot. That's the Griselda sound,
Yeah,
and of course, like some people will say the influence could be Mobb Deep or Wu or this, that, and the third. You know what I'm saying? But even though they have their own sound, but like everybody within that genre underground is almost like gravitating towards that sound. It's not all, but there's a few guys that pretty much like stands out and do their own, but just everybody else is just chasing for that sound. And that's like, it's not just artists. It's just like blogs, write ups. You know what I'm saying? I get overlooked all like a couple of times or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not Griselda pretty much. So
yeah,
that's
Mhm.
the only thing, or not even like Zelda, pretty much, because they pretty much like mainstream now. But like whoever took their spot, it's that boy, that's that new street type of
Yeah.
thing. You know what I mean? It's like everybody can be like a kingpin or whatnot. So it's like me, I'm
Yeah.
more like
it,
regular, more down to earth or whatnot. But that gets overlooked, which is cool.
yeah.
But that's just their loss at the end of the day. So
I
Completely
got
agree
you.
with you, my guy.
I mean, with that being said, then, because there's sub genres within hip hop and there's sub industries within hip hop, where you're sitting right now, like, is there anything that you wish was different? You just spoke on that everybody wants to be that one sound in underground hip hop. Is there anything that you would want to change within the industry? And what would it be?
get more. I think it's starting to not like focus on, because I always thought, although it's always the impression of it's posted just strictly on can you rap or not. You know what I'm saying? It's like it was like that, but it's starting to get away from that. I just wanted to get more back to like can you rap or not. Fuck all the appearance and how you are, whatnot. Can you rap or not? Like really rap, like for real, for real. I think it needs to
That's a
strictly
really good
focus on
take.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
That's a great take because we've talked about that a lot on the podcast. It's no longer just about music. If you want to blow up, it's everything surrounding it. Some of the biggest artists right now
Right.
got shoe deals, freaking actual dealerships, or not dealerships, but sponsorships with restaurants, video games. Like the list goes on. It's endless, and it's
yeah,
almost like, can this person even rap anymore?
Yeah, there's a
So
lot of posturing too. Like I think it was a Vice documentary I saw about how the whole jewelry industry for specifically for hip hop artists is just mostly, if not almost all counterfeit. And it's just like exclusively a status symbol, but there's people making money off the fact that people need to be seen as status symbols in order to sell or in order to stay relevant.
it's true. Like literally, you have to be sellable. You
yeah.
Yeah.
yourself has to be marketable. So I guess going off of that, like, what do you say your style is? Because like understanding the focus is hip hop and can you rap, and you clearly can do that. So what's your style now? Who are you?
No, for me, I just pretty much make music for the everyday man. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty much my style. Like I'm down to earth. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm more the person that talks to you about the game last night more so than like a clubbing event or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just not that type of dude. So I definitely see myself as like a down to earth,
The
regular person
very neighborhood
type of
bar
artist.
flavor, dude.
Yeah, yeah.
I
I should
love the
ask then,
aesthetic.
just with that being said, in terms of fashion there, because like the three of us are the exact same way. We'll wake up and talk about the game, or we'll wake up and talk about a music release or something like that. Real personal, real low key. Jasper, I would say out of the three, is probably the most into fashion. I got Jordans and stuff, but that's about the. Besides that, I got merch hoodies, but that's about the extent of it. Do you buy
I see my man.
Jordans? Do you,
I see my man rocking the Supreme. Of course, yeah. I buy
there you
Jordans. You know
go.
what I'm saying? Of
Yeah, let me
course.
see if I
Okay.
can angle this up a little bit here.
so
There we
so
go.
you
We
do
got
have
it.
Jordans and everything?
Oh, of course, yeah. You know what I'm
Oh, okay,
saying?
for sure.
Sure, I got the ones, twos, threes, fours, fives, six, sevens, eight,
There we
nines.
go. There we
That's all
go.
the numbers.
About to say now you get
That's
in our
10.
ballpark. Yep.
I don't
Bingo.
have tens. I don't have tens. I need to get. I got a pair of 11s and I had a pair of 12s.
Hey,
Okay.
And
you said you
yeah,
like Seattle, or you said Portland, but Seattle,
of
those Seattle 10s are clean.
course,
Those,
bring the Sonics back for sure,
there
man.
you
Bring
go.
the Sonics
Green
back.
and white. Yeah.
Do you have a favorite pair?
Oh, of course. Yeah, you know what's wild is it's like okay, I fuck like the number one. I'm gonna answer your question. It's the Chicago ones. That's my
Okay.
favorite.
Me
But
Yes,
I
too.
fuck
sir.
with
Good
Classic.
answer.
Hell yeah,
yeah, I
that's a
fuck with the
classic.
Chicago twos. You know what I'm saying? The Chicago twos is like, and
Yep.
I didn't get a chance to get this release, but I'm gonna get my hands on them soon though. But it was
Low key,
good
the
though.
Chicago twos might be on sneakers right now. They were the other day. I'm so serious. Hold on.
I heard he didn't like him. That's why he took all day to release him. But thank God he released him, man. Yeah, it was a dude on Instagram had a whole page about him releasing the twos. Like
The twos.
he was complaining like 3 years straight about Jordan not releasing the twos, and he finally released the twos. Like,
I was about to say, if you get the sneakers app, you can get the Chicago twos right now. I'm so serious. If
oh,
you want
bet,
them,
yeah, definitely, yeah, I'm gonna get him on.
it's the move. If you're interested, that's what's up there. I feel like
Yeah,
everybody like a
nah,
little bit of Jordan.
Yeah, Chicago ones, twos. See,
Okay.
yeah. I fuck with the infrared sixes, the black ones, the playoff joints. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Iconic.
And
The
believe
13s was
it, but
just released. The playoff 13s.
right. I saw those, but not the nines, the Chicago nines.
Yeah. For
Okay.
me,
Like those are pretty iconic. You know what I'm saying? Will Smith, Aaliyah,
yeah, my go-to nines are Barons, the Baron nines with the black and
the
white with the
band.
gray.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah.
I still need some lines. I'm slacking.
I haven't
Um,
bought shoes in so long.
I'm about to
And
say.
then also, like, you know what I'm saying? It's I need to get my hands on some tens, and I need to get my hand on some Concord 11s.
There you go. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Those are classics. You got to for sure.
yeah. You know what I'm saying? I got the Iverson jersey to match it. You know what I'm saying? To go with it. Like,
Love Iverson.
Oh
definitely.
yeah, you
Yeah.
got everything already planned out. You got the whole outfit. When you wake up
Now,
for school on the first day, you lay it out.
Right.
the
Right.
real make or break
We there.
question, for the interview: would you wear Jordans with a suit?
Of course.
There you
Okay,
go.
Good.
I
That's
respect
good.
that. I
Good
respect
answer.
Anybody who says you can't, you're either not creative or you bought the wrong shoes.
that.
That's it.
That's it.
Or
You
old.
can always do
Like,
that.
Or
Or
old,
old. Or old.
valid.
It's true. Um, then I guess I just want to leave it off on two more questions. Then, kind of wrapping up a little bit. Where you are right now in 2023, if you look back 5 years, what would you tell yourself, and what changes would you make if you would make any?
Uh, only changes that I would make for real is just get into get it more rapid sooner. That's all.
smart.
Okay. I mean, literally, I completely relate to that. Brandon has texted me like 3 times in the past week. Why did we take so long to start this podcast? So I get that. I really do.
Nah.
It's just a matter of just waking up and doing it one day, and here we are.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
First day's always the
Nah,
hardest.
definitely was a smart move, man. I'm definitely fucking with this show. Like,
Hey,
Yeah. Thanks,
appreciate
man.
it.
Thank you.
Thanks. We're fucking with the
Whenever
music.
you want, You can come on.
Yeah.
You are welcome.
You're welcome on as a guest whenever you want. Whenever you want.
Yeah.
I have one. Purvis, I know you have one more, but I have one question I want to ask. So you kind of teased like some of the projects you're working on coming up, right? But I wanted to ask, like, sonically, like, are there any like specific like sonics or styles or anything that you want to give your take on in these upcoming projects, right?
Okay, so the next one is Carry On Shaw. That's the full length. You know what I'm saying? To all the blogs out there, we're giving y'all a full joint. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
12 songs. You have 10 to 12. You know what I'm saying? Right around that range. And like the sound, pretty much, it's more like it's like Black Star. You know what I'm saying? It's more like that, like a Jay Dilla type of sound. Like Wonder.
Love that.
Little brothers type of sound. So that's the sound that I'm gunning for on that one. And then Vanilla Bean, that's more like a Clemini, like Outcast type of, Dungeon Family type of sound. It's like funk, like a different type of funk or whatnot.
You just named two of my three favorite hip hop groups, so I'm in.
I was about to say you doing a little bit of everything. A little bit of everything.
Yeah. And then we're not sure of the name or whatnot. It could be Bamboo or Shaw Buggin, but it's like that's more like a Sean Price, Superior Rex type of vibe. You know what I'm saying? Like hard boom bap type of beats, drums and whatnot. It's like a goat, like it's almost like a goat cheese, like within that rim.
But,
that sounds great.
Yeah,
cool,
but for carry out, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna do like a little EP for that, like a little small little EP, like a 4-track joint. Then leading up to the carry out on show. Since it's gonna be like the full life, we're gonna do a big roll out for that. So
that'll be sick. We'll be there. Like,
Yeah, that's the next.
Whatever you need, let us know.
That's the
we'll
next
post
one.
it on the page. We got you.
Yeah, that's the next one. Yep.
Okay, bet. We'll make sure to post everything, get you out there.
Indeed.
Then just to leave it off, trying to top it off. What is a message you want to leave our listeners for people that's finding you? You can say anything inspirational, be music wise, personal wise, whatever you want to put out there.
All right, I'll give you one. Make music for people who got shit to do.
Smart.
Okay.
So smart.
Like real
low key, yeah.
So smart.
Yeah,
Holy shit. Because, like, when you think about it, and it's like music, but it's also any kind of creative venture. Like, you want to respect people's time. You know? You got to
make music for people that got shit.
That was wise beyond your years, Shaw.
No, that low key.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get
low key. I'm gonna have to sit on that one.
Yeah. I gotta give props. I stole that from little brothers and shit from a show I went to. That's what it said. We make music for people who got shit to do. You know what I'm saying? Hashtag. Like, I'm saying? I'm more like for the everyday person. You know what I'm saying? You see, let them know, like, hey, I am a rapper, successful rapper, or however you want to see it. But like, I'm just letting you know that, like, hey, I was in your shoes. You know what I mean? Like, the stuff that I talk about, it's more like real, like you know what I'm saying? You got a speeding ticket, you pissed off about it, that type of real. You know what I'm saying? Like,
nah, that hit me for real. It's just smart. You can apply that to life just in general.
So
whatever
smart.
you're doing, just
do it for people who got shit to do.
I'm gonna sit on that one. Yeah. About to say,
because people who got time, I ain't got time to be fooling around. Like, I got shit to do. Like,
100%. 100%.
Bro, trust me.
Yeah.
I majored in business. Jasper and I work for a bank. I won't say the name. Everything we do at work is for people that got shit to do. So I feel that. Like, I feel
that. Too much to do.
All right, I gotta get one question in before we go, though. I gotta get one more. Shaw, I want you to tell me your most controversial classic album. An album you think is a classic.
Wait. Before you do that, break down what's your definition of a classic, since we've taken this route.
Yeah. I figure being an artist have a unique insight into this.
Okay. For answer Purvis question, pretty much it's no skips. That's what takes a classic. And then, like, the beats, you know what I'm saying? The beats have just got to be on point. And then, of course, the lyrics. But to answer your question, you said it's controversial, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so when you mean like controversial, do you mean is it controversially a classic, or like it's a classic but it was controversial?
I mean, like the designation of it as a classic might start an argument.
Like
Oh,
you
okay.
feel
Oh,
that
Not
okay.
lyrics,
everyone
but
will
people
say
might
it's a
not feel
classic.
that way.
No, not like
I was about to,
not
I was about to
like
give you
no, not like a
a.
manifesto kind of
Right.
controversial. No, like
Nah, because I mean, I'm thinking I was about to give you straight out of Compton, so it's like that was controversial. You know what
oh,
I'm saying?
that was
Fucking
Well,
police and
controversial.
shit
controversial at
like
the
They
that.
time.
burnt the
It's
records.
facts.
And it
Right.
was,
That
and
is
it
facts.
was, it was a classic. So, you know what I'm saying? So
Undeniably a classic. You're right.
I thought you was talking about that. But nah,
Shit, that would have been a good answer.
That's a really good answer.
Okay. Let's
right,
see, yeah.
right, right. But nah, I mean, my classics is almost everybody classics pretty much. But nah, okay, I'll give you one. I'll say, Smoke Desert Joint, George Cush the Button.
That's a
And
good one.
yeah,
Hold on.
Smoke Dizza. That's a good one.
the first one, you know what I'm saying? George Cush the Button.
That's
Yeah.
isn't that brother to no, I might be thinking about the wrong person.
No, you're
Never
thinking
mind.
about the Wu-Tang Clan. Yeah.
Nah, because it's like the reason why it will be controversial because like one, that nobody know who the fuck he is. So
Yeah.
like,
I know about.
so you stumbled on your own on that one. But shit, that's my classic. So
Did you listen to the Smoke Dizza, Wiz Khalifa, and Big Crit project from last year?
yeah, I listened to it. Definitely,
Full
definitely
Court
nice
Press.
project.
That was a
Yeah,
great
yeah.
blog era throwback. I told
Mhm.
it wasn't like one of the best albums of the year, but like it hit like nostalgia for me real hard.
What's the name of the album one more time?
George,
Sweet Baby Kush?
George, but that's like George Cush the Button or
Oh,
George
I see it
Bush.
right here.
yeah.
I'm saving it. Yep. George
Yeah,
Kush the button. I'm saving that right now.
yeah. That's Sour Hour Marathon and all them joints on there. Yeah.
Brandon, this has Big Crit all over it.
Right,
Just multiple
right.
features.
I love Big Crit.
He's ready.
I'm a big Crit fan. Oh
Okay.
my god.
What I want to do then, because we got through all the questions, and I appreciate your time.
So
I don't want to
much.
hold you too long. All your answers have been phenomenal. It's just one last thing. We do this every episode. I need at least one recommended song from you that you want to just tell the listeners. We do this every episode. This is how we close out the episode. We all do one song. So if you want, we can all go first for you to think about it, and then you can just give us a song, and then we'll be good.
Any song or one of my songs. So
Any
It could-
song, whatever
any
you want. It
song.
could be your song. It could be any song. So I'll say mine first, real quick.
are you?
I personally, what I want to put people on is not it's a famous artist. Everyone knows Big Sean. But the song Voices in My Head, Stick to the Plan, I've been listening to that on repeat. I think that's a phenomenal song. I think what's it called? Like I Decided. I Decided is so slept on as an album. So that's my personal song. Jasper, do you want to go?
Sure, yeah. My pick this week is going to be. I've kind of been doing this thing where I do like one rap and then one that's just a different genre. This week I'm going to do a different genre for the one. Mine's going to be "Way to Fall" by Star Sailor from like 2001. Wild track, really good album. Album's called like "Love Is Here." Super good, and just they deserve some respect. So check them out.
I was going to say I haven't heard of them before. What's the title of the track?
"Way to Fall."
Way to Fall. Okay, but locking that in. All right, Brandon.
Okay, so I'm also doing one from a different genre. I'm recommending "This Land" by Gary Clark Jr. Gary Clark Jr. is probably the best guitarist working today. And it was a protest song that came out around the Black Lives Matter protests, right? And it's just, you forget that like rock music is black music. And so like to see it like so reclaimed, it's a dope song.
I'm locking that in. That's actually pretty dope.
Yeah.
All right.
The song that came off the top of my head. This may take a minute. You know, so I always take my. It's a good ass question though, but shit. I'll definitely would say. I'll go with "Beneath the Surface" by Jezza.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah, I was listening to that earlier today. So
Yeah.
Okay, bet. That's what's up.
That's what's up. Shaw, thank you
All right.
so much for being our first artist to come on the podcast.
Thanks for having me, man. Definitely looking forward to come on to the next show or whenever you guys have me.
We'll have you back on when you put out Carry Out for Shaw. We'll
Yeah.
Carry
definitely
out on Shaw.
Carry Out on
Carry out
Shaw.
on Shaw.
It's not out yet.
There
I
you
don't
go.
have to know the name.
Until it comes out.
Yeah.
But fuck, this was a great conversation.
Yeah.
This was awesome. Shaw,
Indeed, man.
yeah,
Indeed.
feel free to like hang around the Discord and like chat whenever you want. We'll talk soon, my friend.
So
Indeed,
send me
indeed.
your information. I will put it on the post. Get your Instagram and everything out there.